Welcome to Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. That's me.
Okay, Classified vs. Baldi, The Shadow of the Seven Notebooks. A darker comic adventure featuring Baldi's full cast and the North Wind team, Eva, Short for Hughes, and Corporal. Page 1, The School in the Storm. Panel 1, lightning flashes over an old school building. Classified stands in the rain. Classified, thinking, North Wind and Tell said this place was empty, so where does it feel awake? Panel 2, he steps inside, the door slams shut behind him. Classified, okay, that's not normal. Page 2, Baldi's greeting. Panel 1, Baldi appears at the end of the hallway, ruler tapping slowly. Baldi smiling too wide. Welcome to my schoolhouse. Let's begin your lesson. Panel 2, Classified forces a calm expression. Classified, sure, let's get this over with. Page 3, the wrong answer. Class 1, Baldi gives the first problem. Classified solves it. Baldi, correct, here's your shiny quarter. Panel 2, Baldi writes the second problem. The numbers twist and glitch. Classified, that's not math, that's something else. Baldi voice deepening, answer it. Panel 4, Classified, Baldi's smile collapses. The ruler cracks. Baldi furious, wrong. Page 4, the school awakens. Panel 1, the lights flicker red, a low alarm hums. Playtime from the shadows, let's play forever. Panel 2, Principal of the Thing steps out, eyes glowing faintly. Principal, no running, no hiding, no escape. Panel 3, Goddess Sweep's silhouette moves like a monster in the dark. Gotta sweep everything. Page 5, more Baldi characters join the hunt. Panel 1, first prize rolls in, arms extended. First prize, I must hug you. Panel 2, Beans spits gum across the hall. Beans, that's mine. Cloudy Copter blows a cold dust of wind. Cloudy Copter, you're not getting away. Panel 4, Mrs. Pomp appears, blocking a doorway. Mrs. Pomp, you're late for class. Page 6, Classified runs. Panel 1, Classified sprints down the hallway. Classified, the school is alive. Panel 2, Baldi's ruler slams into the wall, ending a shockwave. Baldi, you can't outrun education. Page 7, the notebooks. Panel 1, Classified grabs notebook number 3. Classified, 3 down. Panel 2, he dodges arts and crafters. Arts and crafters, dude, look at me! Panel 3, he grabs notebook number 7. Classified, all 7. Page 8, the red phase begins. Panel 1, the entire school turns red, the walls pulse like a heartbeat. Baldi echoing, you shouldn't have done that. Panel 2, Baldi's form distorts, eyes going brighter. Classified, he's worse than David the Octopus ever was. Page 9, corner to the exit. Panel 1, Classified reaches the final door. Classified, almost there. Panel 2, Baldi appears in front of him, ruler raised. Baldi, your final lesson is failure. Okay, page 10, the North Wind arrives. Panel 1, the wall bursts open, smoke fills the hall. Eva, step away from our agent. Short fuse, I've got explosives ready if needed. Corporal, stay behind us, Classified. Page 11, the battle begins. Panel 1, Baldi swings the ruler, sending a shockwave. Baldi, no cheating. Panel 2, Eva dodges gracefully. Eva, he's fast, too fast. Short fuse, there is a gadget. Short fuse, let's see how he handles this. Panel 4, Corporal shields Classified. Corporal, we've got you, buddy. Panel 12, Baldi's army attacks. Panel 1, play some jumps at Eva. Play some, let's play. Eva, not today. First prize, charges short fuse. First prize, hug mode activated. Short fuse, no hugs, no hugs. Panel 3, Principal blows a whistle at Corporal. Principal, no fighting in the halls. Corporal, we're at Little Pat's rules right now. Page 13, turning a tide. Panel 1, Kowalski isn't here, but Eva analyzes the situation. Eva, Baldi weakens when faced with correct answers. Solve something. Panel 2, Classified solves a problem instantly. Classified, answer, 42. Panel 3, Baldi recoils, cracks forming in the ruler. Baldi, stop knowing things. Page 14, final strike. Panel 1, short fuse activates the device. Short fuse, time for another light show. Panel 2, Eva throws it at Baldi. Eva, class dismissed. Panel 3, the device bursts in a flash of harmless light, knocking Baldi backward. Baldi, I will return. Page 15, escape. Panel 1, the North Wind team escorts Classified out of the exit. Corporal, you're safe now. Classified, thanks team, that school was a nightmare. Eva, let's get you home. Short fuse and that's another gun back here. Page 16, epilogue. Panel 1, inside the school, Baldi's ruler twitches on the floor. Baldi off screen, next time you won't escape. Okay, it's Radke of Marion, The Rise of Junior. The forest was darker than usual that night, as if the shadows themselves were afraid of what Baldi had unleashed. Strange echoes bounced between the trees, and even the wind seemed to hold his breath. Baldi's nightmare trip to camping had turned into something far worse, a hunt. Marion ran as fast as his legs could carry him, branches whipping past his face. Behind him, Baldi's ruler cracked through the air like lightning. "Come back here, you little troublemaker," Baldi shouted, his voice echoing unnaturally. Marion stumbled, fell, and braced for the ruler's sting, but it never came. Instead, a blur of silver fur shot between them. A powerful wolf agent landed in front of Marion, eyes sharp, stance ready. "Agent Classified," Classified said, calmly. "And you're not touching him." Baldi hissed and backed away, ruler raised. "Stay out of this, mutt!" Classified didn't flinch. Northwind never abandons a civilian. He scooped Marion up and leapt into the trees with impossible speed. Baldi's angry shouts faded behind them. Okay, a new name, a new family. When they finally reached safety, a hidden Northwind outpost, Marion could barely speak. Classified knelt beside him. "You are safe now," he said. "What's your name, kid?" Marion hesitated. "Marion, but I want Baldi to find me again." Classified thought for a moment. "Then you need a new identity. Something strong, something that fits the son of a Northwind agent." Marion blinked. "Son?" Classified nodded. "I rescued you. I'll protect you. That makes you family." Marion's eyes widened. "Then what should my new name be?" Classified smiled. "A rare thing. How about Junior?" Marion grinned. "Junior, I like it." Okay, the teams assemble. The Northwind team arrived moments later. Eva, graceful and brilliant. Short Fuse, the explosive expert. Corporal, the muscle. Eva scanned the forest. Baldi isn't alone. Something else is moving out there. Short Fuse grumbled. Great. More problems. Before they could plan, another squad slid in from the shadows. Literally. Skipper, Kowalski, Rico, and Private marched up like they owned the place. "Operation Save the Kid is underway," Skipper announced. "We heard Baldi's gone full nightmare mode." Kowalski flipped open a notebook. "Probability of ruler-related injury is extremely high." Rico burped up a chainsaw. Private waved politely. "Hello, Junior." Junior smiled shyly. "Hi." Unexpected allies. The ground shook. A massive brown bear burst through the bushes. Borg, followed by his chaotic forest crew from open season. "Hey! Anyone seen a creepy teacher with a ruler?" Borg asked. Behind him, Elliot the deer tripped over his own legs. "He chased us for 3 miles." More rustling came from the cliffs above. 2 wolves, Kate and Humphrey from Alpha and Omega, appeared with their pack. "We heard the commotion," Kate said. "We're here to help." Humphrey added, "Also, Baldi tried to give us home word. In the wild, not cool." Classified nodded. "Good. We'll need everyone." Okay, the enemy approaches. From the shadows emerged Baldi's allies. Sure, armed and furious, a swarm of nightmare creatures, strange ruler-wielding clones. Baldi stepped forward, ruler glowing with nightmare energy. "You can't hide the boy forever." Classified stood in front of Junior. "He's not hiding, he's protected." Boo cracked his knuckles. "Let's even the odds." Okay, a cameo in the chaos. Up in a tree, 2 familiar troublemakers watched the armies gather. Ash, the hot-tempered squirrel, and Freddy, the clueless beaver. Ash squinted. "Whoa, is that a wolf secret agent finding a math teacher?" Freddy shrugged. "I don't know, but I brought popcorn." Ash smacked him. "You always bring popcorn!" Okay, the battle begins. Wolves howled, penguins charged, forest animals armed themselves whatever they could find. The Northwind activated their gear. And Baldi raised his ruler. The forest exploded into action. Junior watched from behind Classified, heart pounding. Not with fear, but with something new. Hope, because for the first time, he wasn't alone. Final chapter. The fall of Baldi and his nightmare army. The battlefield shook as Baldi's nightmare energy crackled through the trees. His ruler glowed brighter than ever, and Shaw stood beside him with a twisted grin, backed by hunters, shadow creatures, and ruler clones. But the heroes were ready. Northwind stood at the front, Classified, Eva, Short Fuse, and Corporal, with Junior protected behind them. The penguins lined up like a tiny but fearless army. Boog and Ilya rallied the open season crew. Kate, Humphrey, and the Alpha and Omega wolves formed a defensive circle. Even Ash the squirrel and Freddy the beaver watched from a tree, popcorn flying everywhere. "Alright team," Classified said, "let's end this." Now the battle turns. Baldi charged first, ruler raised high. The skipper barked, "Penguins, formation Alpha!" Rico launched a barrage of gadgets. Kowalski calculated angles, and Private bravely distracted the clones. Boog roared and slammed into Shaw, sending the hunter tumbling into a bush. Elliot tripped over him, but somehow that only made Shaw more tangled. Kate and Humphrey led their pack in a coordinated stroke, scattering the nightmare creatures. Short Fuse tossed a perfectly timed explosives that sent Baldi stumbling. Ash shouted from the tree, "Yeah, teach that mass freak a lesson." Freddy nodded, mouth full. Oh, this time Junior's moment. Through the chaos, Junior saw Baldi recovering, ruler glowing again. Classified was busy protecting the others. He couldn't reach Baldi in time. Junior stepped forward. "Stop hurting everyone," he shouted. Baldi froze. "You You were supposed to be scared of me. I'm not anymore, Junior said. I have a family now. The nightmare energy around Baldi flickered. His power depended on fear, and Junior wasn't giving him any. Classified landed beside Junior, proud. That's my boy. With Baldi weakened, the teams moved in. With the wolves pinned the clone, with the penguins tied shore up like a pretzel, was Northwind activated a containment device. Baldi shrieked as the nightmare energy drained away. The ruler snapped in half. The clones vanished. The forest brightened. Baldu collapsed, powerless. Shore ground from the ground. I hate teamwork. The heroes gathered as the last of the nightmare mist faded. Eva scanned the area. Threat neutralized. Skipper saluted. Mission accomplished. Boog lifted Junior onto his shoulders. The kid's a hero. Kate smiled. He's got the heart of a wolf. Humphrey added. And the bravery of someone who definitely doesn't want homework. Ash and Freddy clapped from the tree branch. Best fight I've ever seen, Ash yelled. Freddy dropped his popcorn. Oops. Classified placed a paw on Junior's shoulder. You stood up to him. That's what ended this. Junior beamed. I wasn't alone. As the sun rose over the forest, the teams prepared to head home. Northwind welcomed Junior officially into their ranks, not as a mission, but as family. The penguins waddled off to their next adventure. Doug and Elliot argued about snacks. Kate and Humphrey led their pack back to the valley. Ash and Freddy chased each other through the tree. And Junior Warbers like Classified, safe at last. Baldi and his enemies were defeated. A nightmare was over, and a new chapter of Junior's life had just begun. Chatillery, kidnapped in the concrete jungle. New York City was supposed to be a break. After defeating Baldi and Shaw in the forest, Classified brought Junior to the Central Park Zoo for a peaceful visit with some old allies. Alex the Lion, Marty, Gloria, Melman, and the rest of the Madagascar gang. Junior loved it. Alex showed him how to roar, while he taught him how to run fast. Gloria let him ride on her back. Melman nervously offered medical advice no one asked for. Even the penguins, Skipper, Kowalski, Rico, and Private were back in their home turf, proudly giving Junior a tour of their hedge cute. For the first time in a long time, Junior felt normal. But Baldi wasn't finished. The resound of the nightmare teacher. Just as the sun began to set over the city, strange fog rolled into the zoo. Visitors fled. Animals hid. The air grew cold. Alex's mane stood on end. Guys, this doesn't feel right. A ruler cracked through the fog. Baldi stepped out, eyes glowing with leftover nightmare energy. You thought you could escape me, Junior? Junior froze. No, not again. Before Classified could react, Baldi snapped his fingers. Shadowy ruler clones swarmed the zoo and grabbed Junior and Alex in seconds. Let them go, Classified roared. Baldi smirked. Come get them, if you can. And with a flash of nightmare energy, Baldi vanished, taking Junior and Alex with him. Okay, the zoo goes into crisis mode. The Madagascar gang panicked. Marty paced. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Gloria stomped. Nobody kidnaps Alec on my watch. Nelman fainted. The penguin snapped into action. Skipper, rescue the kid and the King of New York begins now. Kowalski scribbled calculations. Baldi's energy signature is unstable. He can't have gone far. Rico called up a grappling hook. Private looked at Classified. We'll get them back, promise. Classified nodded, but his voice was tight. He took my son. We move now. Baldi's hideout. Junior and Alex woke up in an abandoned subway station beneath the city. Baldi paced in front of them, ruler glowing. You ruined my plans, he hissed. But now, I'll make sure you never escape again. Alex growled. Buddy, you picked the wrong lion. Junior glared. My China's coming to me. Baldi laughed. Let him try. Northwind arrives in New York. A Tlig jet roared over Manhattan. The Northwind had arrived. Eva scanned the ditty. Baldi's energy trail leads underground. Shorefuse cracked his knuckles. Good. A light blowing up tunnels. Corporal flexed. Let's smash something. The penguins upped aboard. Skipper pointing dramatically. To the subway. The rescue mission. The team stormed the abandoned station. Baldi's clones attacked, but the wolves from Alpha and Omega, who had followed the trail from the forest, leapt in to help. Kate tackled a clone. You not touching that kid again? Humphrey slid across the floor like it was a log ride. Subway surfing! Boog and Elliot arrived late but loud. Boog roared. Where's the mass maniac? Elliot tripped into a clone, knocking it out. I meant to do that! Ash and Freddy peeked from a ventilation grate. Ash whispered, This is insane! Freddy nodded. I like trains. The final confrontation, Morty held Junior tight as the heroes surrounded him. You can't stop me, Morty shouted. Classified yet forward, eyes blazing. Let my stun go. Junior reached out. Ed! Baldi raised his ruler, but Alex bounced, knocking it away. The ruler shattered. The nightmare energy evaporated. Baldi stumbled, powerless. Skipper saluted. Teacher defeated. Again. Joy used tossed a tiny explosive at Baldi's feet. It popped like a party favor. Just for fun, he said. Reno, he said, Classified knelt and hugged Junior tightly. You're safe now, he said softly. Junior smiled. I knew you'd come. Alex shush. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the King of New York escapes the kidnapping. The Madagascar gang cheered. The wolves howled. Boog lifted Junior onto his shoulders. Ash and Freddy climbed from the vents. The nightmare was finally over. A New York sunset. As the sun cut over Central Park, the teams gathered on Ring Joel. Junior leaned against Classified. Dad, do you think Baldi's gone for good? Classified looked at the glowing skyline. For now. But whatever comes next, we face it together. Junior smiled, and somewhere far below the city lights flickered. Peaceful again. Chapter 4. The Coyote in the Shadows. After the chaos in New York, Junior finally felt safe again. Classified brought him to a quiet countryside area for a break. White fields, warm sun, and a friendly farm nearby. That farm belonged to Otis the cow and his wild barnyard crew. Junior loved it there. Otis taught him how to dance, Pip the mouse showed him secret tunnels, Peg offered snacks every 5 minutes, Freddy and Peck argued about everything. For once, life felt peaceful. But peace never lasted long when Baldi was still out there. A new villain arrives. Late one night, a shilling howl echoed across the fields. Otis froze. That wasn't one of us. From the tall grass stepped a tall, scarred coyote with glowing yellow eyes. Dag, leader of the coyote pack, predator of the night, and now Baldi's newest ally. Baldi emerged behind him, ruler glowing faintly. Dag, Baldi said. Bring me there, boy. Dag grinned. With pleasure. Before Junior could run, Dag's pack surrounded him. Baldi snapped his fingers. Nightmare chains wrapped around Junior, pulling him away. Otis charged, but Dag knocked him aside with a swipe of his claws. Stay out of this, cow, Dag growled. And with that, Dag dragged Junior into the darkness, toward his hidden den deep in the woods. The farm goes into panic mode. Otis scrambled to his hooves. Everyone up! Junior's been kidnapped. Pip squeaked. Again! Freddy panicked. We're doomed! Peck fainted. Otis grabbed a walkie-talkie, calling the North Wind. We need backup! North Wind responds. Within minutes, a Klieg jet roared over the farm. Classified leapt out before it even landed. Where is he demanded. Otis pointed toward the woods. Dag took him, and Baldi was with him. Ebert scanned the area. Dag's den is miles from here. We'll need a full team. Short Fuse grinned. Good. I brought explosives. Corporal cracked his knuckles. Let's go save the kid. The Penguin slid out with a jet. Skipper saluted. Operation Coyote Cleanup begins now. It's Glide Dag's den. Junior sat in a dark cave, surrounded by snarling coyotes. Dag paced in front of him. Your father humiliated Baldi. Now you'll pay the price. Baldi stepped forward. You should have stayed scared, Junior. Junior glared. I'm not scared of you anymore. Dag growled. You will be. But before Dag could strike, a massive roar shook the cave. Otis burst through the entrance, riding a motorcycle straight into the coyote back. Barnyard, baby! Behind him came Kip on a tiny scooter, Peg rolling like a bowling ball, Freddy swinging a stick, Peck screaming but somehow helping. North Wind stormed in from the other side. Classified tackled Dag instantly, pinning him to the ground. You don't touch my son. Dag snarled and fought back, but Classified was stronger and angrier. The Penguin took on Baldi. Rico launched smoke bombs. Kowalski calculated weak points. Greiber distracted Baldi with kindness. Skipper karate shot the ruler out of Baldi's hand. Otis and his gang fought the coyote pack with chaotic teamwork. Big Belly Foot conjured 3 coyotes at once. Freddy chased one in circles. Peck accidentally knocked out 2 with a lucky kick. Junior's courage tried to grab Junior again. You belong to me. Junior stood tall. No, I belong with my family. He kicked Baldi's broken ruler away. Classified landed beside him. That's my boy. The defeat of Dag and Baldi. Dag lunged one last time, but Otis headbutted him so hard he flew into a haystack outside the cave. Dag groaned, I hate cows. Baldi tried to run, but the Penguin tied him up with broken duct tape. Skipper saluted. Villains neutralized. Short Fuse tossed a tiny explosive at Dag's feet. It popped like a party balloon. Just for fun, he said. A safe return. Classified hugged Junior tightly. You're safe now. Again. Junior smiled. Thanks, Dad. Otis grinned. Anytime you need help, the barnyard's got your back. Pig burped. And snacks. Freddy pointed at Dag. Can we keep him? Everyone shouted. No! On the farm. As the gun rose over the fields, the heroes stood together, North Wind, Anya Crew, and Junior. Baldi and Dag were defeated. The farm was safe. And Junior knew he had more family than ever before. Chapter 5, Schoolhouse Chaos. Update 0.12, the legendary final battle. The world changed overnight. Baldi's schoolhouse, once just a creepy building, had transformed into a towering fortress of nightmare energy. Red lightning cracks across the sky. The ground trembled. And from the top of the schoolhouse, Baldi himself stood with a new ruler, glowing like a burning star. He had rebuilt his army, and this time it was bigger than anything anyone had ever seen. From the shadows marched army. From the shadows marched every villain he had ever commanded. Dag the Coyote, snarling with hunger. Shaw, armed and furious. Dave the Octopus, tentacles swirling with purple smoke. Noel, glitching in and out of reality. The Bully, blocking paths. Playtime, skipping with a razor-sharp jump rope. Principal of the Thing, blowing his whistle like a siren. Arts and Crafters, floating silently. First Prize, charging like a metal bull. Capitan Chantal de Bois, hunting like a predator. Baldi's Student Shuffle, an entire army of corrupted students. Baldi raised his ruler. This is the end of the North Wind. Amor. Before anyone could react, Noel glitched behind Junior and grabbed him. Junior screamed as he was pulled into a swirling portal of red and black. "Dad!" Classified lunged, but the portal snapped shut. Classified fell to his knees, claws digging into the dirt. Ever wavered, they took him into the schoolhouse. Skipper saluted. "Then we go in." Otter stepped forward. "No one takes our friend." Kay and Humphrey howled. Boo cracked his knuckles. The Madagascar gang stood tall. The Bonjod crew readied themselves. The penguins loaded every gadget they had. Classified rose slowly, eyes burning with determination. "We're getting my son back." The march to the schoolhouse. The heroes charged across the battlefield. Baldi's army charged back. The ground shook as the two forces collided. All the leapt over glitching students. Penguins slid under Dave's tentacles. Otters rammed Shaw into a wall. Boo, Gretel, Dag in the dirt. Du Bois chased Marty across the field. Playtime tried to trap Dora and Jumper. First prize spun out of control after Rico threw a bomb. Art and Craft just teleported, but Kay countered with perfect timing. It was chaos. It was war. It was everything. Inside the schoolhouse, Junior woke up in a dark hallway. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. The lights flickered. Whispers echoed. Baldi appeared behind him. "You can't run anymore, Junior." Junior backed away. "My dad is coming. He'll be too late." But then, a massive explosion shook the hallway. The door blew open. Classified stood in the smoke, eyes glowing with fury. "Step away from my son." Amor, the legendary final battle. Baldi screamed and unleashed all his power. The schoolhouse twisted into a nightmare maze. The floor cracked open. The walls melted into glitching code. Baldi's army poured in from every direction. But the heroes arrived too. Everyone. Northwind, the penguins, Otters in the barnyard, Boog and Elliot, Kate and Humphrey, Alex, Marty, Gloria, Melman, Ash and Freddy, even the wolves from Alpha and Omega. The entire world come to save Junior. The battle was enormous. Dag lunged, Goog tackled him. Shaw aimed, Otters knocked him flat. Dave summoned smoke, but Skipper sliced through it. Noel glitched, but Kowalski counter-glitched in. Du Bois charged, but Alex roared her back. Playson swung, but Gloria snapped the rope. First prize rammed, but Corporal caught him mid-shot. Arts and Crafters teleported, but Humphrey distracted him with Jenks. And in the center of it all, Classified and Baldi clashed. Ruler against Claws, Nightmare Energy against Northwind Strength, Teacher against Father. The room shook with every strike. Junior watched, tears in his eyes. "Dad, please win." Amor, the moment that breaks the heart. Baldi raised his ruler for a final glow. Classified was exhausted. He stumbled. Baldi's ruler glowed brighter. Junior screamed, "No!" He ran between them. Baldi froze. Classified froze. Junior stood with his arms out, tears streaming down his face. "You can hurt me, but you'll never break my family." Baldi's power flickered. The nightmare energy cracked. The entire schoolhouse began to collapse. Amor. The final blow. Classified Jenny pushed Junior behind him. Then he looked at Baldi, not with anger, but with strength. He struck Baldi's ruler. It shattered into a million glowing pieces. Baldi collapsed as the nightmare energy drained from him. The schoolhouse crumbled around them, but the heroes pulled together. Wolves carrying penguins, Otters lifting Melman, Skipper guiding everyone out. Classified carried Junior in his arms. They escaped just as the schoolhouse exploded into light. Amor. Aftermath. The battlefield was quiet. The villains were defeated. The nightmare was gone. The sky cleared. Junior hugged Classified tightly. "I knew you'd save me." Classified whispered, voice shaking, "I'll always save you." Everyone gathered around them, cheering, crying, hugging. It was over. The world was safe. And Junior was finally home. Here is your chapter 6. Joseph is real. Okay. The final horror chapter. The year was 1997. The abandoned schoolhouse stood at the edge of town, swallowed by vines and shadows. Everyone said it was haunted. Everyone said a student once vanished there. Everyone said his name was Joseph. Junior had heard the stories, but he never believed them. Not until now. The disappearance of Natalia and Jeremiah. Two innocent students, Natalia and Jeremiah, had gone missing during a field trip. Their backpacks were found near the old schoolhouse doors. Their voices echoed faintly inside, like whispers trapped in the walls. Classified, Northwind, and all their allies arrived at the scene. Eva scanned the building. There's something wrong in there. Short Fuse shivered. Feels like the walls are watching us. Corporal whispered, "This place shouldn't exist." Junior stepped forward, heart pounding. "I know who's inside. Joseph, the lost student." Classified looked at him. "How do you know that?" Junior swallowed. "Because he called my name." Inside the abandoned schoolhouse, the doors creaked open on their own. The hallways were frozen in time, lockers rusted shut, papers scattered, chalkboards cracks. The air felt heavy, like the building itself was breathing. A voice echoed, "Junior, you came." Joseph stepped out of the shadows. He looked like a student from the 90s, torn sweater, old sneakers, but his eyes glowed with something dark, something broken. Junior whispered, "Joseph, what happened to you?" Joseph's voice trembled. "I was forgotten, left behind. No one came for me, so I became something else." Behind him, Natalia and Jeremiah were trapped in glowing cages of dark energy. Joseph raised a trembling hand. I didn't want to hurt them. I just didn't want to be alone anymore. Joseph's dark side awakens. Baldi's leftover nightmare energy pulsed through the schoolhouse. Joseph's shadow stretched across the floor, twisting, growing, forming a monstrous silhouette behind him. Joseph clutched his head. Stop! Stop! I don't want this! Junior stepped forward. You're not a monster. You're scared, like I used to be. Joseph's eyes softened, but the shadow behind him roared, breaking free. The dark side of Joseph towered over them, a swirling mass of fear and loneliness. Classified shouted, Everyone, protect Junior! The final battle began. The saddest battle of all. North Wind fought bravely. Eva blasted the shadow with freezing wind. Shaw threw light bombs. Corporal shielded the students. The penguins distracted the monster with gadgets. Otis and the barnyard crew rammed into the darkness. Boog and the wolves held the line. But the shadow kept growing. Joseph cried out, I can't control it, I'm sorry. Junior stepped toward him, tears in his eyes. Joseph, you're not alone anymore. The shadow lunged at Junior, but Classified jumped in front of him, taking a hit. He fell to one knee, weakened. Dad! Junior screamed. Classified looked up at him. And that. Together, Junior saved Joseph. Junior reached out and grabbed Joseph's hand. A bright light burst from them, warm, gentle, full of hope. Joseph gasped. What is this? Junior smiled through tears. Something you never had. Someone who cares. The shadow shrieked as the light spread, cracking apart like glass. Joseph collapsed into Junior's arms, crying. I didn't want to be forgotten. Junior hugged him tightly. You're not on your own. The shadow dissolved completely. The schoolhouse fell silent. Okay, the you. The cages around Natalia and Jeremiah shattered. They ran to Corporal, who lifted them to safety. Joseph looks up at Junior. Eyes no longer glowing, just sad, human and tired. Thank you for seeing me. Classified placed a gentle paw on Joseph's shoulder. You're coming with us. No more darkness. No more being alone. Joseph nodded, tears falling. The end of the schoolhouse. As they stepped outside, the abandoned schoolhouse began to crumble behind them. The curse finally broken. Joseph watched it fall, whispering, Goodbye to the place that trapped me. Junior held his hand. You're free now. A bittersweet ending. Back at Northwind HQ, Joseph sat beside Junior, wrapped in a blanket, sipping warm cocoa. Natalia and Jeremiah thanked him for saving them. Classified looked at Junior with pride. You taped him, not with strength, but with heart. Junior smiled softly. I just didn't want him to feel forgotten. Joseph whispered, Her once forgetting me now, and for the first time in decades, Joseph felt safe. The epilogue, a mother's tears. The sun was setting over the quiet countryside, painting the sky in soft pink and gold. The final battle was over. Joseph's dark side had been defeated. Natalia and Jeremiah were safe. Junior was safe. The North Wind stood together, exhausted but proud. But someone else had been searching. Someone who never gave up. Someone who had been walking from town to town, asking every stranger, checking every streetlight pole, holding a stack of blank, wanted, missing posters she never wanted to use. Her name was Titi Kesha, and she was a mother who refused to stop looking for her kids. The moment she arrives. As the heroes gathered outside the ruins of the schoolhouse, a car pulled up on the dirt road. The door opened slowly. Titi Kesha stepped out. Her eyes were tired. Her hands were shaking. Her voice cracked as she whispered, Natalia? Jeremiah? The two kids froze. Then Natalia gasped. Jeremiah dropped everything he was holding. Mom! They ran. Titi Kesha fell to her knees as her children crashed into her arms, hugging her so tightly she could barely breathe. Tears streamed down her face, the kind of tears that come from fear, relief, and love all at once. I thought I lost you, she sobbed. I thought I'd never see you again. Natalia cried into her shoulder. Jeremiah held her like he'd never let go. We're here, Mom, Natalia whispered. We're safe now. And then, the posters she never needed. Titi Kesha reached into her bag with trembling hands and pulled out the papers she had been carrying for days. The missing posters. Natalia's face, Jeremiah's face, her handwriting, her hope. She looked at them, then slowly folded them away. I don't need these anymore, she said softly. Junior watched from beside Classified, his heart warm. He knew what it felt like to be found, to be loved, to be saved. Classified placed a gentle paw on Junior's shoulder. Family always finds each other. Junior nodded. Yeah, they do. Joseph's quiet moment. Joseph stood a little distance away, wrapped in a blanket, watching the reunion with sad but hopeful eyes. Titi Kesha noticed him. She walked over slowly, still holding her children's hands. "You're Joseph, right?" she asked gently. Joseph nodded, nervous. TC Kesha smiled, a real warm, motherly smile. "You're not alone anymore either." Joseph's eyes filled with tears he didn't know he still had. "Thank you," he whispered. Then, a peaceful ending. The North Wind team gathered around. The Madagascar gang waved. Otis and the Barnyard crew cheered. The wolves howled softly at the rising moon. Everyone was safe, everyone was together, everyone had someone to go home to. TT Kesha hugged her kid one more time, whispering, "I'm never letting you out of my sight again." Natalia laughed through tears. Jeremiah nodded into her shoulder. And as the stars appeared overhead, Junior looked at his father and said, "Dad, this feels like the real ending." Classified smiled. "It is."